Welcome everyone to today's Rapidi webinar about what will happen with your integration when you upgrade from Dynamics NAV to Business Central. Let's quickly run through the agenda for today. We will start with a short introduction of who we are and what we do, and then we will jump into today's topic about moving from Dynamics NAV to Business Central and what that actually will mean to your integration. Then we will have a look at on-premise versus the cloud-based version of Dynamics, the difference of those deployment methods, and what you need to take into account when switching to one or the other. After that, we will explain 6 steps upgrade approach, what we actually recommend doing in a case of an upgrade project like this. And we will have also some nice giveaways and resources for you later in the session here that should help you embark on this upgrade journey very well for you. And then we will have a quick recap, and we will jump into the Q&A. Just quickly, some practical things before we start. The session will be recorded and we will send that afterwards to you. And yeah, feel free to put the questions in the chat and we will take them in the end in our Q&A. So yeah, last but not least, please make sure to stay until the end as we have these nice links to share in the chat that will help you out. So I think that's it for the agenda. So let's start by introducing ourselves. Me, Andreea, and Rapidi. So I'm Beate Thompson, the co-founder of Rapidi. And I have spent more than 2 decades now in IT and design. And my focus has at Rapidi mainly been on the product development side, making sure that our platform is easy to set up and that you can set up your integration without writing any code. Rapidi as a company has been doing data integration and also data replication for more than 30 years. So what we normally connect is your business applications, systems or databases, so that you can move your data automatically between them. So it will be mainly that we connect a lot of CRMs, mainly the major Dynamics or the major CRMs that are in the market out there, and with ERPs or multiple ERPs and entities, and especially also the Dynamics product suite. But we also support other systems and databases. So yeah, that's it from me. And today I'm joined by Andreea, one of our senior data integration specialists at Rapidi. So hi, Andreea. Thank you for joining. I will quickly let you introduce yourself.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Andreea. So I'm a data integration consultant here at Rapidi. I've been in this iPaaS world, so to speak, since 2017. So I have been working a lot on system integrations, the focus being on the Dynamics 365, ERPs, and other systems like Salesforce or HubSpot. And of course, I'm island-based. And I do enjoy going to the beach, and I do enjoy sunsets on the beach. Back to you.
Sounds good, Andreea. Thanks, Andreea. Okay, let's jump into it. So we will be today talking about switching from Dynamics NAV to Business Central and what it would mean for your integration. So let's kick off the topic with a common assumption that we often hear when people are embarking on an ERP upgrade project or switching systems in general. Andreea, if you can, from your experience working with data integration projects, what will that be, and what actually will decide on how you approach this kind of system switch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think when it comes to this particular scenario, moving away from Navision and using Business Central, then we see this myth or this assumption around it, and then people say, okay, if we are in that situation, then we have to rebuild everything. It's not because they haven't analyzed the matter, or they haven't looked into it. But people tend to hear this assumption in many places, and then they end up believing that that's the default expectation for any type of project. But it's not accurate, because you can have different situations. And then when you have, let's say, a specific scenario, then you have a specific direction or route for that. So when it comes to what actually decides it, we have to look at the scenarios, so to speak. So one thing that's really important here to mention, and this thing applies to all the scenarios that we have added here, is that the destination system is untouched, in the sense that when you have an integration already running between Navision and, let's say, Salesforce will stay untouched, because everything will remain the same. The only thing that you would change would be the source. In this case would be Navision, right, or the new system that you have. So everything that has to be done, all the work, is on that system. Now, there are different, I would say, scenarios here. The first one that you can see is the one where you have, let's say, everything within Navision. So I'm referring to code units, to any development, any code running, customizations. So everything is happening within Navision. So it means that Navision can communicate with other systems, but you have all this heavy code within it. Now, if you are in that situation and you want to move away from Navision and you want to go to Business Central, cloud or on-premise, you probably have to rebuild everything from scratch, because you cannot just, copy all the code and everything you have in Navision and put it into Business Central. And the reason for that is that Business Central will have a different behavior. It will, so if you develop something within Business Central, it will have to be done in a different way, which will not match entirely what you have in Navision. So here, definitely a rebuild. So definitely having to build everything again in Business Central. The second scenario is about reconfiguration. So this one refers to the situation when you have an integration between Navision and, let's say, Salesforce, but then you have a middleware or an iPaaS platform between them. In that case, for example, you have your mappings, your connections, so everything is handled by that platform. So if you are in this particular case, then the effort is definitely, I would say, lower, because then you only have to work on the source, in this case being the new system that you will have. So this means that you will only have to repoint the integration to the new system, and then adjust the mappings that you have. Of course, many things can be identical, but obviously you can have certain, let's say, tables or maybe custom tables that you have in Business Central, so you want to adapt those. But in the end, you do not go and do everything from scratch. You do actually reconfigure what you have, and then you actually reuse everything that you have built for the initial integration. So this is the scenario where things are quite easy and you don't need to do, heavy work. And then the third one is somehow like a hybrid. So you kind of like have both. So then you have a heavy code within Navision, right? But then you also have have connections set up with that system, and you have mappings. So in this, if you have this hybrid where certain things are within the code and then certain things are outside Navision, right? Then that's just adapting what you have. And then of course this probably will require some work, because it's like 50-50 more or less. So then you can reconfigure what you can, but then any code that you have within Navision will probably have to be redone, or probably copied over to Business Central, if that's even a possibility. But either way, you still have a bit more work here to be done. So this would be like the three directions that you would get, and then based on the scenario that you are in, then you can decide how to proceed next. And then you have to think about estimates in terms of time, resources, because in certain situations you do need certain resources. You need to spend time on writing the code, right? So on and so forth. I think that would be it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let's have a look at different cases you briefly described. Let me see here. The different types on how your existing integration was built and how to find out which is your case actually. So Andreea, please go ahead.
Yeah. So then, what's really important is that when you have so the first scenario, the rebuild, then you have to go through everything from scratch, right? So then as soon as you have your new BC instance, then you would need to build again the integration. Here, obviously, it's important to estimate this properly and see the amount of work that is required for you to do. But if you are in a phase where you, let's say, you had all your code within a vision, and you say, okay, then this means that I will need a rebuild, then you can always go for a middleware, because that would simplify things moving forward, right? Because then if you say in Business Central, I'm going to write the code again, which you can, obviously, but then if later on you want to expand that, right, the setup, you want to do more, then you have to go back to writing code again, and then putting a lot of effort into it. And of course, when you have everything controlled within Business Central and you have code in there, then it's also a matter of understanding what has been done and maintaining it, right? Yeah. So again, I think when you are in a, being in this first scenario is not that bad, I would say, because it gives you more opportunities. You can think of, okay, do I do the same thing in Business Central, or I just go into a different direction and I use something else that's easier to maintain and to adjust. So yeah, so for the rebuild, then you definitely have many options, but you have to think about the project itself because it will require time and resources. The second one, which is reconfigure, this one does not require a lot of work. So here you already have something that's running. So you already have an integration between a vision and a different system. So you have done all the work previously, so to speak. So now you just have to adjust it. So it's easier to deal with this particular scenario because everything is configured. You already have your flow set up. You already know what needs to go where. Now it's a matter of setting up a new connection to this new system, testing it a bit and see how BC reacts. And then as soon as you are happy, you can definitely repurpose your transfers or data flows and use them for your new integration, so to speak. So then you do not spend a lot of time on it. You just reconfigure what you have at that point. And of course, if you are in this situation, it will be easy to reuse the transfers or the data flows because the tables from Navision and Business Central are more or less the same. Business Central will inherit, I would say, the main tables and the information that you have. So it's not about having to use completely new tables for this integration. So it does help a bit in that sense. And then of course the last one, which is definitely like the hybrid scenario, you do have to adapt. So here it's a matter of putting some work into it, and you do have to adapt your custom code and see exactly how this would actually fit into your new environment. Because like I said, Business Central gives you many possibilities in terms of integrations, but it will behave differently. So it's not the same as Navision. So you do have to work a bit, on adapting what you have done previously. But of course, you have to look at what you have and then decide in which of these buckets you fit in. And then based on that, take actions accordingly.
Yeah, so the existing Rapidi customers are in a good place, you can say.
Yes.
When they need to do this migration, they are within as we call it, in the right bucket, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, I want to hear from a little bit from you, from the audience here. It was really, really interesting to know in which situation you are in, if you already know today. So we can just write 1, 2, 3 in the chat. And if you're not sure, that's also okay. Then you can just write, I'm not sure. And then hopefully we can move on and give you more insights in how, we could progress on this matter here. Let's see here. So now a question that we often get from our customers already, and also as late as yesterday, I received a question again, whether it matters where Business Central actually runs and which environment. So let's compare those two deployment methods. I think, Andreea, that's over to you again.
Yeah. So then, we do get this question quite often because people are thinking, okay, if I go for BC on premise, like, does this mean that there's more work, or how does it work? If I go for cloud, like, what does this mean actually? So I think we have here two buckets, like we said. So one is, what stays the same for on-premise and cloud, and then what you actually need to adjust based on what you choose. So when it comes to on-premise or cloud, you will have the same data model. So like I mentioned before, BC will inherit the standard tables. So you should be able to see the same tables with the same information. Of course, you see maybe slightly different, I would say, fields maybe, but those are minor things. So it's not like a huge difference, but overall, this will stay the same. So you'll still have customer contacts, invoices, orders. So everything is still available in Business Central and you can use them. Then the integration design. Like, for example, you had Navision and a different system, then you can actually keep the same design. So the same scope, direction, the matching keys that you have used with Navision, any transformation logic that you have applied to it. So everything that you have set up for that integration, it can still be applied to Business Central either on-premise or on cloud. Then on the CRM side or the destination system, here you don't need to do anything basically. So this one will stay the same because it's, really there's no impact on it. So this one can stay as it is. You just need to work on the source. Then when it comes to Rapidi, so if you have this running by Rapidi, then your transfers or data flows will stay the same. So you can have the same templates, the same definitions, and then you can just repurpose the ones that you have there and then point them to Business Central. So these are the things that will stay the same, and then it will make your life easier, I would say. So you don't need to worry about what needs to be mapped and where. And then things that you will probably need to adjust. For example, here we're talking about adjustments, not redesign, because these are two different things, right? Things that would need to be adjusted would be the fact that you need to repoint the connection to the new Business Central environment. So here, of course, there's a new connection type that you need to use. You connect in a different way with Business Central, either on-premise or cloud. So it's a bit different from Navision. And then, of course, you have to reconcile the mappings that you have because, of course, I think the majority of them will be the same, but you might have some differences. For example, maybe some of them have been renamed or made obsolete or replaced, or maybe you decided to use custom pages instead. So that's something that that has to be done, but it's not, I would say, a major effort for any company. And then, of course, expose any custom fields that you had in Navision. So if you want to keep the same setup, then you would publish them in Business Central and use them accordingly. And last but not least, you have to retest, right? And then reschedule your data flows, meaning you have to go through your usual use cases, see how it runs, and then you have to go ahead and schedule your data flows to run according to the frequency that you need. So I think this would be in a nutshell.
That's how I would say it, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andreea. Let's see. Yes. And what about the environment-specific differences when we now talk about on-premise and cloud, and then, when it comes to integration? Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, so there, when it comes to Navision, BC on-premise or cloud, there are some differences. And these are not like a showstopper because then you can connect to any system, but just so you are aware of the changes that happen. So for example, when it comes to access, so in Navision, you have SQL access. So you just go straight to the SQL database, you read the information, and that's it. And then that's the only option. With Business Central on-premise, then you have the same options. You can access it via SQL, but you also can use OData. Well, it's not, it's not like a full OData access, but you still have those options. Then with Business Central Cloud, here is just OData or API. So here we are no longer talking about SQL databases. It's just OData pages that you publish, or the standard Microsoft pages, or your own API pages that you create. So then that's definitely different. Then authentication with Navision, you have the Windows user, so it's that you connect via that. Business Central on-premise would still go through that, so you have this Windows or just user access. And Business Central Cloud, usually when we connect to cloud, we do use Azure, right, as a way to connect to it, because it's safe, right, and it's the best way to connect to it. Being completely cloud, then you go through the Azure app, and then you'll have access to your BC instance. Then where the engine sits, so Navision, of course, it's locally installed. It's there on your network. Business Central on-premise on your network, or it can be like a local connector VPN, but still it's there on your network. And cloud, obviously this would be cloud to cloud. So then you don't have any locally installed programs or connectors or anything like that. Then custom fields. Well, in Navision, you can create custom fields. So you can do that on the tables. That's fine. In Business Central on-premise, it's the same thing, or you can have an extension. But BC Cloud here, they would need to be exposed via what they call the AL table extension. So it's something that you have to do it separately. It's I would say a different process. And you definitely need to do that for any custom pages or fields that you create. So it's a bit, the process itself, it's a bit different. Then volume and throughput with Navision is unlimited, because of course it's hardware bound, so it's there locally on your network. On-premise is unlimited, which, because of course it's on-premise, it's local. And then cloud, here, we see differences, because when it comes to BC Cloud, you have rate limits. You have certain retries that can happen. So it's a bit, I would say, set up differently, because whenever you read data from Business Central Cloud, then you have to be aware of how much data you read from it. Because if you run a huge query, then Business Central will stop it at one point, because of the rate limits that are set up, right? So it's just a way to protect your environment from like you taking all the bandwidth when querying the data. So I think, of course, you have to make sure that when you read data from BC Cloud, you are aware of the rate limits and all the retries that you can do. And then make sure that you do not try to read, thousands of records at the same time. But I think either way, the rate limits are okay. You can definitely read a lot of data from it, but you have to be mindful of that. And then test environments. In Navision, you have like a manual restore of a copy, so you can have that, but it's like more a manual process. Business Central on-premise, it's still manual.
Still the same.
And then cloud, here you do get the like sandbox on demand, so to speak. So it's it's much better, because then you have a good sandbox environment where you can test, definitely, and then you can test your use cases that you see every day. So I think, this would be more or less the differences. One thing to mention here is that for example, Business Central on-premise, in order to connect to it, then you will need to go through a connector that would be installed locally. So this is something that's really important, because that's the only way to actually get to it, right? So then you install that, and then you get your Business Central environment. And with cloud, as I said, it's just Azure, and then it's just cloud. but this is not an issue because then the connection is done differently, but the data can be read in the same way. So it does not impact the way you read or write data.
Interesting. So it looks like Business Central on-premise is very similar to NAV, but still, of course, a little bit different. Yeah, and then it actually matters how you connect instead of what you connect, right? So,
yeah.
All right, let's see, what else do we have here? Now let's now we have walked through all the different scenarios and the different deployment methods, but now what do we actually need to do in order to get the complete successful upgrade project? So let's have a look. We have like compiled a kind of a 6 steps upgrade approach, where we from via our experience we have gathered our knowledge put in our knowledge into a kind of a resource for you, and what we recommend how you approach this project upgrade. So let's have a look. All right. So 6 steps to migration you actually control yourself. Let's see. So we recommend following our 6 steps approach for any migration and system switch. And you want to do these things in the exact same order every time to assure that everything is going successfully. So first, map and scope. Sit down and decide what actually you need to move over and what should be left behind of historical data, or if you want historical data over, also define that, what you want to have transferred over. And also make sure that you agree on a kickoff date where you want to cut off the old system and go to the new one. Then second, cleanse at your source. This would be far cheaper and easier to deduplicate and fix your data in the old system before you move all the data over in the new system. So it's cleaner in that way. And then third, dry run a subset. So you always want to test load a small representative of your data, and then see if everything works. Have the major key scenarios in there, but just do the sample of data. So in that way you can test and instead of having everything run through and then it breaks and then you have to roll back and everything. So and then once you have progressed on these things, the fourth step would be to run the old and the new system in parallel. Actually, we set it up from the start when we start this project, so you have them available at the start already. So in that way, you keep both environments live and current, and then you can actually also continue working in your daily processes while you do the switch of the systems. So, and also it would also remove the need to have a kind of a big bang weekend cut over, where you just say, okay, now it's never or not, and then it actually breaks and then you have to roll back. So having that in mind, it will be more calmer for you to have those systems running in parallel, and then you can switch when you see everything is running good, and then we do the switch. And then you move to the fifth step, which we really would recommend. That's why we highlighted it a little bit here on the slide also. In a lot of migrations or upgrade projects, we have seen that many times that the problem is not kind of the technology and what you use and everything, but it's more like the argument, we decided that we wanted to do this and the process was like this, but then then you actually didn't define it in the start of the project. So here's where you actually prove if you did the good groundwork from the start of the project. So and then it's very important that you don't skip this step here. So then when you are good and have validated everything with your team and everything and compiled what you want to reconcile, you're good to go. The final step, you can switch to your new system. And in our case here, we go through the Business Central switch. once your new system is proven and working, then you switch the old one off. And yeah, in our case at Rapidi, we have a test service in all our editions, so to speak, and you can still have it as a test and then play around with it afterwards, the test. And voila, then you're live with a Business Central. Sounds easy. And at the end of the day, the difference between a project that goes smoothly and one that doesn't is really how you follow these steps and really do the groundwork from the start and follow through on that. So yeah, that's what we actually see. So then I also want to mention that this process here is not bound to just NAV and Business Central. You can actually use it in overall migration projects. If you have finance or GP or are switching from AX, the old Dynamics AX to Finance, for example. So yeah, that is our recommendation. So yeah, let's see if you have any experience. Maybe you have a totally different approach or have experienced some other migration project in other company maybe. Let's hear from you. So we will very be interested in hear your thoughts also. So yeah. So now we went through everything here, what we have. Let's do a quick recap and also give you some takeaways from our discussion so far. The 3 things we want you to take away from this webinar is the first thing is to identify which of those 3 cases you are in. And if your project has a need to be rebuilt, reconfigured, or custom code needs to be adapted. And this would all depends on how it was built from the start. So it's not dependent on the NAV version or how old it is or which number it has. So the second is that choosing on-premise and cloud changes how you connect and not what you actually connect. So the data model and the design carries over and the connection is what you need to adjust here. Yeah, then we have a third takeaway here also that you do not have to do this big bang cutover project, meaning it either succeeds or fails. We went through the 6 steps approach that we recommend to run older and newer systems together and then switch off when you're ready and to do the switch. So the important part is that you are happy with the result rather than focusing on a really specific date. You need to be finished with this. So and the bottom line is also if you're running an integration with Rapidi, the upgrade and can be reconfigured rather than a rebuild, as Andreea also mentioned earlier. And for current Rapidi customers, it's clear, so they will just follow that process in the reconfiguration phase. So and if you're not a Rapidi customer, then feel free to consider this kind of approach, and we will be happy to talk to you about if you would like to learn more about us. So feel free to reach out there also. By adopting a configuration-based approach instead of a full rebuild, you can really reduce project timelines, lower your risk of failures, and also achieve maybe a more cost-effective upgrade in the long run. Also, you might consider that you want to go to on-premise for now, and then maybe later stage you want to go to the cloud-based, and then via Rapidi you can easily do it, like doing the reconfiguration of your setup, and that's it. So and also I would like to emphasize also you do not need. We have this webinar, of course, for the upgrade, as we have a lot of demand, but you do not need to upgrade your Navision. We support all the versions back from the old DOS version, actually from the earlier days. So, but if you need any help, feel free to reach out to us. So, I think we are almost reached the question. Yes, I think that's it. Let's take some questions. I see we have a question in the chat here. Are you seeing more customers opt for on-premise or cloud? I assume the Rapidi configuration might play some role, but given that the presentation is outlining that both options are available, I'm curious what might be driving that decision on an on-prem or cloud. Yeah, that's from Brandon. Hi, Brandon.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I think from what I've seen, companies do tend to go to cloud just because things are so much easier in Business Central Cloud. So that would be like the majority of them, but also companies prefer BC on-premise just because it's more similar to Navision in how it behaves. So for people to go from Navision 2016 to BC Cloud, it's a huge leap. So for people who are like, oh wow, everything will have to be done completely different just because of how BC is built. When they go to BC on-premise, it's like, okay, we have a change, so we are changing the system, but it's still so similar to Navision and how you connect to it and how you log in and how you use it. So I think it's a matter of just perspective. From a Rapidi standpoint, for us, it doesn't really matter what you use because we can connect to both, either on-premise or cloud, and then read or write data. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It depends. It depends. So Brandon, let us know if you're in the process, or maybe Andreea is up to date also. I've talked to him already, but let us know. Else, feel free to reach out to us anytime, then we can have a discussion. All right. Let me see if we have others. At the moment, I don't see any. So while we wait, we have prepared some questions here that we get often from customers. So we thought we might take it here. Will our field mapping still work, or does BC use different tables of fields names than in NAV?
Yeah. So I think we touched this a bit, but it's important to say that they will be similar. I think most of them will be the same. Of course, there can be differences, but small differences. For example, if you used to use the customer table in Navision, then the customer card in Business Central is very much the same. It's just maybe the fields might be called in a different way, but not very, very different. So in that case, you can still reuse, I think, most of what you have. And then you will see the similarities because there are, at least for the standard table. So customers, contacts, like orders, invoices. And then, of course, what's custom, it's custom because that's a different conversation. But I would say that the field mappings will still work. You just need to adapt those whenever is necessary. So some of them will be identical, some of them will be slightly different. So you just, I would say, you update them, so then they point to the right field. But yeah, I would say most of them are mainly the same.
Okay. Question is, Brendan is asking again. One of our consideration is how much we are tasking our internal IT to manage servers. In regards to, I think, in regards to the both different deployment versions, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now if you're going to use BC Cloud, then that can be Microsoft hosted. So then it means that you don't really need to have someone really working on it because it's hosted by Microsoft. If you want to host it yourself, again, that's a different conversation because you have to see, like, do you have the resources? Do you have someone that would maintain it, like, that would monitor it, right? And then you have to look at the costs. How much it costs to have it Microsoft hosted or to have it hosted like separately by you, right? You have your own server. So that's something that a comparison that has to be done in order to understand which option is best. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, there's always flip sides on one version to the other. I would say I have on-premise more control over what you do, but yeah, on the other side, on the cloud, yeah, it's different there. So
Yeah, for like if you have it on premise, then you need a local admin. You need someone that has to maintain that has to have access to everything. And then if in case something happens, that person would be able to like troubleshoot, for example. So yeah, for anything that's locally installed, then you definitely need someone to take care of that.
Yeah. So Brandon, just definitely make this comparison, and if you need help, reach out. We can help you, like getting it set in order, what to compare or not. So
yeah.
All right. We have another question. Can we run the integration in parallel during the transition, or does it need to be cut over all at once? Yeah, I touched upon it, but let's elaborate on it.
Yeah. So this is again another question that I see quite often because people then they think, okay, so we are going to transition to Business Central, and then whatever we had with Navision will be cut off all of a sudden, and then we might lose data. So it's like all this, all those things that come to their minds. So then I would say here that yes, you can run it in parallel, and I think this is a recommendation to actually do it because it's important to do it correctly. So you run it in parallel, and then while you run it, you work on the things that need to be completed. And then as soon as you are comfortable with the switch, then that's the moment when you have this cutover. So you say, okay, Navision will stop now, today, and then immediately afterwards, we enable the BC, let's say Salesforce integration. So then they have, the timing is really important, and also important to test and do many other things. But yeah, definitely run it in parallel so you can make sure that everything works correctly.
Yeah, that has been our process for many, many years. So yeah. Yeah, that's right. So one last question from our side. Does it matter whether BC is on-premise or cloud in terms of how existing integration needs to be set up?
Yeah. Well, no. I think the short answer is no, because then I mentioned that when you have BC on-premise, then you connect to it via a locally installed connector, which is like a small program, right? You install it, and then you have access to your BC instance and read your data. That's the only thing with on-premise. With cloud, you have a different connection type, which would be Azure, of course, and then that's being set up in Azure, and then the app will communicate with BC, so then you can read and write information. So in the end, regardless of how you set up the connection, you can still read the same data in the same way. You can still write into any page or any standard or custom page that you might have. So it does not impact you in any way. It's just a matter of setting up the connection in the right way, because afterwards everything will be the same.
All right, I'm just checking the time. I think we've got time to one more question. Let me see. Yes, we had. Yeah, I think it's interesting here. Also, NAV 2017 supports ends in January 2020 and 27. Yeah, they have this with these numbers there. At the moment, we don't know. Maybe it changes. But is it already too late to plan properly? No, of course not.
No.
What do you say, Andreea?
No, I think it's not too late. I think.
No.
Well,
you should start today.
Yeah, definitely start as soon as possible, but it's not too late. So you can definitely plan accordingly, and then try to have this up and running as soon as possible. Yeah.
Which brings me to the next slide, and actually, so we have these resources here for you, and thank you, Andreea, for the questions to be answered. Yeah, we want to wrap up to give you some resources here, how we can help you, like getting this project started, or if you're in doubt and you have already started, you can definitely, we encourage you to download these two resources here. Well, one is the resource, one is a meeting invite for you. So we have this the full playbook here for you with a checklist and the 6 steps we went through and some best practices that you can download. And we will also post it in the chat. And then secondly, we'll also post a link to, for your convenience to check to book a consultation with us, or you can reach out to us via email also. And then, yeah, that's it, I think. We'll leave it in a moment here. And last but not least, we would really appreciate your opinion on how you found this webinar. And if you can leave a comment in our feedback form here, we'll also put that in the chat here for you to click on. And make sure to follow us on all these medias that we are representative on. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining. And we hope to see you soon again on our next webinar. I think we have one planned for September, which will be very interesting. It was like kind of data integration and ROI on integration. So it will be very interesting to attend that. I will send you an invite if you're interested. And yeah, see you soon. Bye-bye.